Hello everyone, Satorn here with another Vicky Quickie. This time on welfare laws. You might want to be careful about this one. Let's get into it. The first law is no Social Security. I would stay here as a beginner player. You really can make mistakes if you get any of these other laws that are here under welfare, as well as increasing the minimum wage. So really, I would only do the other laws if you have an extremely solid income from taxes and tariffs, regulated migration, so you don't have a huge influx of people and a lot of potential for new jobs, a lot of areas for more industry. If you don't, staying no Social Security is definitely the way to go. And really, the only benefits that you get here is a higher standard of living. So if you're not looking for that, I would definitely steer clear. Poor laws is the next law. It's a plus 40% welfare payments. But what does welfare payments mean? Well, it's a fraction of the normal wage. And what is the normal wage? Well, the normal wage is, think of it as your average national wage that across your industries. So all your incorporated states and all the industries there and all the wages, the game calculates that, and then that's like your national average. So depending on your national average, let's say for this example, it would be, let's say 20 pounds. What this does is the welfare payment says there's a threshold of plus 40%. So, and then if you see down a little bit farther, you also get a Social Security institution, and that'll give it an additional plus 10%. So it'll be a plus 50%. So if we had, again, back to the 20 pounds, plus 50% or times 50% means for at 10 pounds, if your people are being paid that wage, then they are eligible, right, or lower to get this welfare payment. And what that does, it'll pay the difference and get them back up to that 20 pounds, so they're at that normal average. So you're paying all this money from the government to make sure that their standard of living, they have enough money to be able to pay for things. You can see here too also with the poor laws, though, is that they do lose political strength when receiving welfare. That's a minus 15%. And then as you go up in levels with your Social Security institution, of course, this will go up another plus 10% welfare payment and a minus 15% political strength. The next law is wage subsidies. Here you can see that the trade unions endorse this. They actually endorse all of these laws. And the poor laws are also endorsed by the industrialists. So you'll see later on in the game that these interest group might start pushing these laws, and be careful about accepting these because here the welfare payment will now go up to 50%. So the threshold increases, as well as another plus 10% per level of the Social Security institution. So what this means is even more people are eligible to join the welfare program to where the government is paying. You also need to be careful in combinations. Some of these are okay as long as you keep them low and your economy can support it. But you need to be really careful if you start taking other laws such as workers' protections. Here you can see it's another plus 10% minimum wage. So anything that's increasing your minimum wage is also increasing that normal wage or that national average. And if that does, that means even more people are going to be eligible for the welfare program, and you're really going to get into trouble. So again, you can do this, but you got to make sure you have a really strong economy. Another thing to note is none of these laws require any text, so that's something to different than some of the laws we talked about in previous videos. So no texts are required for any of these, which is pretty interesting. In addition, if you do get out of control on these, so let's say you do have an institution which is too many levels, also remember you can always go backwards. It'll take 50 weeks and you may plummet your economy for a while, but you can try to get a correction there. So that's something also to keep in mind. The last law is old age pension, and I would say if you're in wage subsidies, this is an easy one just to go to. There's no reason not to, because the welfare payments are the same. It's the plus 50% threshold as well as plus 10% per Social Security level. However, you do lose a minus 1% in your workforce ratio, which is very, very tiny. And then you get a plus 20% dependence income, which is really big. Later on in the game here, even now, I have 13 million in dependents. So getting an increase of 20% in income is actually very good for very little cost, right? It's just the bureaucracy. Then you also have a plus 2% dependent enfranchisement. So what this means is now the dependents in that group can also join an interest group and actually vote. So this could have a little bit of an impact. I'm not sure how big, but what I think it'll mean is that a lot of people are going to want some of these trade union laws, maybe a couple other ones. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have used old age pension or not, or even wage subsidies and the benefits that you guys are seeing. I know for sure it'll be standard of living. Hit that like, subscribe, notification button if you like this type of content. And as always,
for the swarm.